Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Oprah Winfrey!
Oprah is back.
How y'all doing?
Her new life.
I'm cleaning out my office in Chicago. I'm still letting go.
Her new passions.
You've changed a lot. So why did you stop this?
Her new series.
You hear about love stories, but this is a love story.
Okay, I'm gonna cry over that.
Plus,
This is the biggest human event on Earth.
Would you have found it? Am I taking over?
If you do take over, it's okay.
don't miss an incredible daytime event.
I must say, I done good raising you.
Yes. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. All right, I got something I want you to think about. If you are roughly 40 years old, you have lived 14,600 days. Think about that. That's a lot of days, right? If I asked you to recall them one by one, thousands of them would just run together, kind of like the elevator music of your life. The same would be true for most of the people you have encountered along the way. But there would be certain days and people that would stand out from all the rest. Would you agree? Yeah. Some in a good way, some in a bad way. It's those key days and those key people that can really change and, in fact, define our lives. Robin, for example. Now, because this show is normally about other people and not me, you don't often get a chance to spend time with my key people, but today is a rare exception. Because a truly pivotal person that transformed my entire life is here. Please make welcome my dear friend, Oprah Winfrey.
That's a welcome.
Well,
I feel the same way. I feel the same way about you. Thank you. Thank you.
you suppose I could have you on every Tuesday?
Tuesdays. So in the beginning, when Phil would come on, we decided that he would come on the shows on Tuesdays. And I love Tuesdays. Remember I used to say, I'm so glad you're here. I can leave my brain at home. It was fantastic. How y'all doing? It's so cool. I feel like I raised this dude. And let me just tell you, I had a moment driving in and seeing your big face on the side of the Paramount wall. I must say, wow. 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 And it all started because I was going through a hard time.
Yeah, in Amarillo. Can you believe that?
Yeah, because I was being tried for saying something bad about a burger. And I couldn't believe it was happening to me. And every day, I can't believe this is happening to me. And Phil said, girl, no, you said, gal, they're going to hand you your...
Ass on a platter.
Ass on a platter. It doesn't matter why, because now you're here. And I never forgot, you know, he was telling me all these Phil-isms before they were national Phill-isms.
What was it, 98?
It was 98.
And we worked for 2 years before that.
That's right.
So we've been knowing each other 20 years.
No, I was knowing, Jay was in high school.
Yeah.
He was 16 and driving his own car. I was like, wow, look at that kid driving that fancy car. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember Jay, it came time for you to testify, and you said, not unless Jay's here.
Not Jay's here.
She called Jay's high school and said, I need him out of class. And the principal went to his class and said, somebody that sounded a whole lot like Oprah Winfrey just called and said they need Jay out of class.
You know what it was? Because Jay and I became friends, and I just wanted somebody to hold my hand. Because, you know, when you're going through a terrible time, anybody saying anything to you that is an act of kindness means the world. So we did that trial, and then I said to Phill, I wanted you to come on television and do for the other people what you had done for me, how you allowed me to see a deeper part of myself. But the very first time we did it, the people they did not like you.
Yeah, they were shocked.
They were shocked.
I said, you know, people are shocked. What do you think? And you said, turn up the heat.
Turn up the heat.
You didn't tell them as straight as you told me. Turn up the heat. Tell them like you told me.
Yeah.
Then next thing we know, we got season 1 done here. We had a wrap party at my house. You remember this picture?
Oh!
That was the wrap party, the first wrap party at the end of season 1. Look, Jordan was a freshman, I think. Right, Robin? He was a freshman. Look at him there.
Yeah.
Look at him now. That is Jordan now.
What happened? What happened?
Yeah,
She's
grown up.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so how are you handling grandparenthood?
Oh, let me tell you. I have become that guy.
Have you?
Oh, and people bring that up, and I'm like... And you know, and I send you pictures of the kids when I
know.
I know, but
Avery in London.
Okay, so here they are. Wow. So Avery in London, of course, this is Avery's little birthday, and that picture in the middle, that's my relationship with Avery.
Wow.
I mean, we have so much fun. And then there's London and Avery.
Do they call you Grandpa?
They call me Pops.
They call you Pops.
Yeah, they call me Pops.
Do you not want the title Grandpa?
No, I don't. That's just what they call me. I didn't care if they called me Hey. But they call Robin Grandma.
They call it Grandma.
Yeah.
Robin, is it okay with the Grandma title?
Oh, I started teaching them Grandma the minute they were born. Grandma. I've always wanted Grandma.
That's precious. Look.
Yeah.
To use Robin's word, that's precious.
Yeah, this is her putting lipstick on her. And there's London. This is the day Erica and Jay took the kids to school. It was Avery's first day of kindergarten. That's Avery and London. That was her first day of kindergarten. She was smiling then, but she got a little worried later. But she did it. She got through it okay, and now she loves it. Now, London is a year and a half younger than Avery, but he is almost as big.
Wow. Did it soften you around the edges a little bit?
It did because of the girl. You know, I raised 2 boys, and Jay and Jordan, tennis shoes, shorts, they're good. But a little girl, it really does soften you. Don't you think, Robin?
Oh, yes, it really does.
And all the stories, you know, when you first came, you know, Phill didn't want to come to Hollywood. He didn't want to come. But it suits you well, I think.
Well, I like it out here.
You do like it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've carved out a niche.
You used to think you needed a passport to get out here, though, right?
Yeah, I really thought you needed a passport to come out here, because I was from Texas, and there's some weird people out here.
Coming up, Oprah shows us how her life has changed since leaving Chicago and her talk show.
I like the cow. I have cows, and I have horses, and I live in a ranch life.
Plus, a special sneak peek at Oprah's big project that was 3 years in the making.
My confidence comes from knowing there is a force, a power greater than myself that I'm a part of and is also a part of me.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phill, a controversial new app.
It's like Yelp, but for rating people.
Now the co-founder speaks out.
I didn't anticipate the negative attention.
Nobody brought up cyberbullying.
No.
You can't possibly be that naive.
Plus, a teen who thrives on negative attention.
I like it. I don't care. I mean, I care, but I don't care what they say.
So I do care. I just don't care.
All new Dr. Phill. That's tomorrow.
You've moved to California.
Yeah, I've moved to California, and I like it too. I like it too.
It's a less hectic
I'm
life.
still, you know, actually, I'm going to go back this weekend, and I'm cleaning out my office in Chicago. That's
really?
That's still a thing. I'm still letting go. I might need to call you for some counsel.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I can talk you through that, but you've changed a lot. I mean, your passion is gardening, and you've gotten into all of that because I mean, look at this. Look at you.
I don't know if it's a passion, but I sure like it when things come out of the ground. I sure do love that. Look at my carrots. Look at that.
Look at those. This is at your house, right? Okay.
No, actually, this is in Maui, because I have a ranch in Maui. So I have an organic farm. I have a 16-acre organic farm.
Okay.
In Maui.
Okay.
Yeah. So when they're the big ones, it's Maui. I don't get them that big up in Santa Barbara.
Well, let me see that zucchini you were holding. That's a big zucchini.
That is.
Did you grow that? That's a big zucchini.
Well, did I grow it? I picked it. Was I actually out there tilling the soil and doing that? No, but I did pick it. You can tell those are my picking clothes.
Do you know this? Do you know this cow by name?
Yeah, that's Ivory, and Ebony was right on the other side. I have a black cow and a white cow.
Yeah. And is this cow like your friend? You like talk to the cow?
I like the cow. I have cows and I have horses, and I'm living a ranch life.
Yeah. Which is hugely different from what you were doing before.
Kinda.
Yeah, kinda.
Kinda.
So why did you stop this?
Well, I wanted to be able to leave the ring and not be punch drunk. I did not want to still be on the air and people saying, well, she should have quit that show 3 years ago. I wanted to be able to sit in this chair, that chair, and you're in my chair. I wanted to be able to sit in the chair and be able to look people in the eye and still be completely authentic.
Had you said everything you needed to say?
Yes, and I remember being, I actually do remember, you all loved all the makeover shows, right? I didn't so much. I didn't so much. And so when I started to feel like, now I'm just going through the motions of a makeover, especially. I think I must have done 200 or 300 of them. Yeah. That I thought it's time to go.
But we did some things that really mattered.
I love doing shows with you because, for me, the use of television, I think the use of television and so-called celebritydom is to be used to show people the power of what can be done with the human spirit. So the only difference between you and the only difference between me is that we have a platform that speaks to more people. So to be able to use that platform in such a way that other people can change their lives. That moment when the woman said, I never thought of it that way before, who'd lost her daughter. That's one of my favorite all-time life moments. And every time I did a show with you, I remember the woman standing in the audience and her husband had betrayed her and she said she didn't know if she could trust him anymore. And you said, and I use this with my girls all the time because I have all these girls in college, so I pull out Dr. Phill-isms all the time. It doesn't matter if you can trust him if you know you can trust yourself. So those moments where something gets lodged, you just now hearing that for the first time? That's big, isn't it? So I learned so much from you and so much from that show. And what I learned is when you feel inside yourself that it's time to let something go, then it's time to let it go.
It was interesting when I was looking at the series we're getting ready to talk about, you talked about having a kung fu moment over a stain on a carpet.
Oh.
And you have to tell about this because I got to see your dogs because I love dogs. I got to show everybody your dogs. You have a zoo.
I only have 5. I used to have 11.
I know, but
11's hard.
Well, look at all these dogs.
Yeah.
You have 5 dogs.
I have 5 dogs. And when Stedman's not home, they all sleep in the room with me.
Yeah.
So somebody was sick the other night. And I immediately thought, I could go, crazy hysterical here, or I could calmly remove all the dogs, take them all out of the room, and then I can get into the thing that I love doing most, stain removal. Stain removal. And I am very good at it. I'm only now sorry if I didn't know what I was going to be talking about on the Dr. Phil show. I started to take a picture of the stain, but I didn't want to be one of those people taking a picture of the stain. So the dogs were...
late.
It's too late. So I got the dogs out, and I had a kung fu spiritual moment in that, because when you are fully present with whatever you do, it can be a meditation, you know. So instead of being upset about the stain, I say, I'm going to turn this into a spiritual moment of cleaning this up. And I did. Slowly, don't get yourself overworked about it. Because when you get overworked about it, then you start rubbing and scrubbing, and you want to slowly remove all the particles, and then you get yourself your club soda, then you get your little towels and all your little tools and your enzyme cleaner. And then, what do? You
dab.
You dab. What I'm proudest about is I never needed the enzyme cleaner. I never even used it, because I had the patience to get it up with just the club soda.
And it's gone.
It's gone.
Now, I want to talk about this series because I binge-watched this.
You did?
I did. Now, Oprah brought us a preview of what's to come this week on Belief. Take a look at this, and then we'll talk about it.
My confidence comes from knowing there is a force, a power, greater than myself, that I'm a part of, and is also a part of me.
We're all interconnected. We're all in this together.
I start questioning things. Why is it like this? Is God the person with the old white beard?
To ask these questions is really the privilege of being human.
I don't know why, I just know I have to be there. I just have to be there.
I didn't fall out of love with him, and I didn't stop loving him. I felt like we were supposed to do this separate but together.
God brought me into this world for a purpose, the same as God brought every human being into this world for a purpose.
The answer I was looking for was within me the whole time.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, she quit her job, packed her bags, and got the hell out of Chicago. And I'm not talking about Oprah. I'm talking about a young, up-and-coming executive who gave it all up to find meaning in her life. She's one of Oprah's favorite stories from Belief. After the break, we'll be right back.
Reshma has quit her job, said goodbye to her family, and to find what she's looking for, she's heading back to her spiritual homeland, India.
I'm here with one of the pivotal people in my life who 4 years ago changed her life when she left Chicago to start her own network. People have asked me time and again, Dr. Phill, what's the key to you being the #1 show in television? I say, well, Oprah quit. That's the key. I was #2 for 11 years, and then she quit. Today, she shares with me Belief, her new 7-hour documentary series that explores our ongoing search to connect with something greater than ourselves. Now, one of her favorite stories features Reshma, who says she felt like something was always missing in her chaotic life. So she went to India to find a connection to herself. Take a look.
I just go to work, come home, eat dinner by myself, wake up the next morning and do it all over again. I don't think God meant for us to live this way.
Reshma has quit her job, said goodbye to her family, and to find what she's looking for, she's heading back to her spiritual homeland, India. Every 12 years, pilgrims come by the millions to bathe here in the Ganges River, to wash away their sins and purify their souls.
Bathing in the river is the most powerful way to recharge your faith. It's the reason I'm here.
And as Reshma wanders the riverbank, something extraordinary happens.
Well, it's good to meet you because I've watched your story and I've seen everything about it. So to do this project with Oprah had to be amazing, right?
Absolutely. And she's just...
You had to go around the world. You were in Chicago all this time. You had to go around the world
to connect. I know.
Yes. But our whole series is about connecting, and one of the things that I wanted to share in this Belief series, because I know that we are a faithful country and we are faithful people, and I had seen the planet Earth years ago on Discovery, and I wanted to be able to create for the spirit what planet Earth is for, you know, our physical world, because I fell in love with the earth watching all of those stories. And Reshma was one of those stories of somebody who, you know, there are a lot of people, you interview them, who feel disconnected from themselves, who feel like something's missing in their life, who feel like they're not completely whole. You were one of those people, and traveling to the Ganges, where there were 70 million people at one time, coming for the same spiritual experience. 40 million people in the river the same day she went in the water.
This is the biggest human event on Earth.
Yes.
Was it overwhelming to be there?
It was at times, but it was also pretty amazing because it was just a lot of love and compassion just everywhere. And it was, I felt safe. Even though it was kind of chaotic, I felt safe.
You quit your job to go on this journey, you say, to find yourself. What did your parents and friends think? Were they like, are you crazy?
They thought I was nuts.
What did you find?
I found connection. I really was looking for a sense of peace and compassion and love and connection to other human beings, and through that I found the connection to myself that I was looking for.
Would you have found it? Am I taking over? No.
No.
Okay.
No, you know, you architected this whole thing,
Okay,
and if you do take over, it's okay.
Okay. Okay. Would you have found, and when I finished watching your story, I think, wow, it reminds me of Glinda the Good Witch when Dorothy's going up and down the yellow brick road looking for it, searching it, and then discovers it was always right there with you inside yourself. Would you have been able to discover that you've now discovered had you not gone?
I don't think that everybody needs to quit their job and travel halfway across the world to have that experience. That was what I needed.
All right, coming up, a couple's love is tested after a horrific car accident. They teach us what unconditional love really means. We'll be right back.
Ian and Larissa met in college and fell in love. But 10 months into their relationship, Ian lost control of his car and veered into oncoming traffic.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phill. She's obsessed with gambling.
I've lost between $300,000 and $400,000.
Out of control.
You're gambling away your rent money.
I can't stop.
Out of cash.
How many credit cards have you opened?
Between 50 and 100.
And she has a big favor to ask of Dr. Phill.
Why did you bring me these bills?
I thought maybe he might pay them.
You wanted me to pay them.
You don't have to pay them if you can't afford it.
That's Monday.
Oprah says one of the most powerful stories from her new documentary, Belief, is about a young couple, Ian and Larissa. They were college sweethearts whose love affair quickly became challenging and a true test of unconditional love. You'll understand.
Ian and Larissa met in college and fell in love.
Good.
It was just fun to be together. To be around somebody that had that much life.
But 10 months into their relationship, on his way to work, Ian lost control of his car and veered into oncoming traffic. Ian spent months in a coma with a traumatic brain injury. When he finally woke up, the man Larissa loved was now trapped inside a damaged brain
and a broken body.
There were really hard days, but I knew that God was the source of my love for Ian, and my hope was in that. I knew he wouldn't leave me if the role were reversed.
4 years after the accident, Ian and Larissa decided to get married.
I think from like a 10,000-foot view, it can seem like I've just given up all this stuff for Ian, when really I need Ian just as much as he needs me.
Well, Larissa and Ian are joining us from their home today via satellite. So hello.
Hi, Oprah. Hi, Dr. Phill.
Hi.
You hear about love stories, but this is a love story.
Is a love story.
No question about it. So, Ian, tell us how you're doing today.
He said I'm doing really well, Dr. Phill.
Wow.
Well, great. So, Larissa, you guys were only together for 10 months, but you say you really knew how much he loved you, and you guys planned to get married, and you knew that when this accident happened, right?
Yeah, we talked about it a lot, probably to the point where several times I was like, let's just stop talking about this because I want something to be a surprise. But that ended up being so helpful after his accident because I didn't really have to question what his commitment was to me.
A lot of couples, once they've said the vows through sickness and health, for better or for worse, you stay because you've said the vow. You hadn't given the vows yet, and yet you still stayed. Was there ever a moment, though, when either you or someone in your family was like, think about this differently? You don't have to marry him?
I didn't want to make any decisions one way or the other before Ian could talk. And it was about 2 years after his accident before he could talk again. And it just didn't feel fair for me to leave our relationship before we could talk about it. And I honestly didn't even want to. And Ian, as soon as you had your voice again, and even before he had his voice, I held his heart rate monitor record, which was just one sign that we kept having that he knew who I was and that I was unique to him. And I mean, we definitely had people who are closest to us making sure that we weren't making the decision out of maybe guilt or pressure.
What role does your faith play in your relationship?
The leading role. The leading role.
Yeah.
Ian says it's the leading role.
Okay, I'm going to cry with that. That's amazing.
Thank you both.
A father and his daughter reconnect and heal after unimaginable personal loss. We're going to talk to them right after the break.
You think when death happens, everybody's going to come together? No. Some families disintegrate.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phill.
You have no self-respect.
I have a high self-esteem.
You won't believe what this team does for attention.
You said, I like to be manhandled.
He hit me, and I liked it.
That's tomorrow.
We've been catching up with my dear friend Oprah today. Her new documentary, Belief, delves into people's search for a deeper meaning and connection in the world around them. Now, Howard and his daughter Shane were struggling to recover from a tragedy that cut their family in half. And they found that connection that they had lost in a most unusual place. Burning Man. Take a look.
You think when death happens, everybody's going to come together? No. Some families disintegrate.
When Kendra passed away, my dad told me that he felt like he stopped being a father. Hearing that was difficult. It was hurtful because I was like, I'm right here. I'm your daughter.
As spiritual people, they are looking for a way to move through their grief, and they've decided to try something radical. Burning Man. For many here, Burning Man fulfills a primal need.
Bless you.
To participate in rituals that help us deal with powerful emotions.
It's about transformation, and that's how I view the event.
I have to tell you, I went into this thinking, I don't get this Burning Man thing, but didn't I tell you, I absolutely love this story. You've been married for 22 years?
That's correct.
And you lost your wife, and then you lost your sister in a plane crash. But I thought it was really interesting that you both talked to Kendra on her last day.
I hadn't heard from her all summer because she was in Kathmandu doing this volunteer project in an orphanage. And I had the really, really long talk with her, and being able to tell her how proud I was of her and how much I loved her, in a lot of ways, looking back on it, it was a goodbye. Obviously, I didn't know that at the time.
And you spoke to her as well?
Yeah, the synchronicity of all that, the possibility of all that happening. You just realize there's bigger things going on, because we said goodbye to her. Now, when we got together after she passed, that was the first thing we both acknowledged. We were saying goodbye to her in that conversation.
What did you hope would happen at Burning Man?
The thing about Burning Man, which is a hedonistic cabal, but there's also a big spiritual element. And they burn the man on Saturday night, and on Sunday night they burn a temple. You have this transformation, you have this catharsis. And then, you know, we were able to heal and become close again.
And did you feel the closeness that your father did at that time?
We were having a really hard time relating to each other, just going through our grief separately. And this is a journey that we could finally take together, separate but together.
My great hope was to create a series that would be Planet Spirit for our planet, so that we would be able to see what our own faith is, how our own faith is represented, but also to see what people of the world believe and how that connects us as one.
Belief premieres this Sunday, October 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central on OWN. It's airing over 7 consecutive nights. So, Oprah, thank you for bringing us these incredible stories today. I mean, really.
Thank you, Dr. Phill. Thank you. Thank you for letting me come on your show. Let me come on your show.
Who would have ever thought? I mean, seriously.
But look at this. Come on.
Yeah, come on. If somebody had said back in 1996, when we first started working, that someday you're going to be a guest on my show.
Talking about something that really is like my heart's project, and that you would allow us the hour to talk about it. It's so fantastic. I must say, I've done good raising you.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Coming up, a year after her best friend accidentally ran over and killed her toddler daughter, she says she forgives her friend but feels tremendous guilt. She's going to tell us about that next and ask for some help. So we'll talk to her after the break. Help me say goodbye to Oprah.
Bye.
I ran out of my car and I started doing CPR. I ran upstairs to wake up my husband. I was covered in blood and all I could say was, Rowan, like, you just have to save her.
Do you need Dr. Phil's help? Text Phill to 88500 and share your story for a chance to appear on the show. Standard message and data rates may apply.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. Bryn and Cassie have known each other for years. They would take turns picking up each other's children and taking them to school. About a year ago, it was Cassie's turn to take the children to school. Little did they know what was going to happen next would change their lives forever.
September 16th was my son's 3rd day of preschool. My friend Cassie and I had started to carpool. She had arranged prior to pick Wyatt up in the morning for school.
We pulled into the driveway and I saw Bryn come out the front.
I have a big circular driveway, so me and Wyatt walked down my sidewalk towards the car. He was very nervous of going. He was crying, and I realized I had forgotten his booster seat.
She came back out, but this time she just left the front door open.
The door must have not latched.
Saw little Rowan come out the front door, and she came out to kind of by where I was standing. We were probably like 4 feet behind my car.
I put Wyatt in the car, and little did I know, Rowan had gotten out of the house.
I pulled forward very slowly. I felt my right back tire go over something. I looked down and I saw Rowan in the gravel.
I saw her little body in my driveway, and I ran over and scooped her up.
I ran out of my car, and I started doing CPR.
I ran upstairs to wake up my husband. I was covered in blood, and all I could say was, Rowan, like, you just have to save her. I was just begging for a miracle for somebody to save my baby. Paramedics and fire department got there. It seemed like a long time before somebody came over and told me that my daughter wasn't gonna live, that she was gone. And in that instant, I just wanted to die.
Well, their tragic story made headlines, of course. Bryn says she could never blame her friend, but says she does blame herself.
I never blamed Cassie. I blamed myself.
Even though Bryn has never blamed me, I will always carry blame for myself. I wished I would have picked Rowan up before I got in my car.
It's not a good feeling to know that my daughter passed under my care. So yeah, I blame myself.
As I said earlier, you certainly won't hear me say I know how you feel, because I cannot even imagine. Take me through that moment when you realized what had happened. What does that do to you, to your heart, to your spirit, to your mind?
You go through so many different emotions and feelings, and I don't even think it's all at once because you can't comprehend what really just happened right away. It flips your life upside down. I didn't have a desire to live after you hear those words that your daughter's not gonna live. Your daughter's gone.
Did you realize what had happened? Did you realize that she had run out of the house and gotten out there, or was it confusing to you? Did you...
I was so confused. It just happened so quickly.
And you felt the car pass over something, right?
Yeah. And then I think both of us saw at the same time Rowan in the gravel.
Was there any chance to save her at all? Or?
I ran over immediately and scooped her up off the ground. And as soon as I held her, I knew she wasn't breathing and she wasn't alive.
In the confusion of emotions, the cauldron of emotions that happens after something like this, has there been a time that you have blamed Cassie?
No, never.
Not even once?
No.
And how about you? Have you blamed yourself?
Oh, yeah.
What do you say to yourself about that? What do you say that blames you?
It's just like, I was driving the car. I mean, I'll always carry that with me. I definitely blame myself, and I think I just probably always will. It's just part of my life now. It's who I am.
Do you have a strategy for dealing with this at this point?
Cassie and I starting our charity together has really been a huge healing for me, for both of us, I know, because I'm helping other families that are dealing with the same type issues, because I know how painful it is.
What's the biggest question that you have in your mind?
If I would have made different decisions, would she still be here today?
Well, coming up, Bryn says she's excited for her new baby girl due in less than a month, but is very afraid of one thing, and she'll tell us what that is after the break.
Now that I'm 8 months pregnant, I have a lot of fears with this new baby coming. It's another girl, which we're so thankful for, but at the same time, I don't want to let her out of my sight.
Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. You have a baby girl on the way, a month. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You're excited. It's
very.
It's a wonderful thing. What's your fear?
One, I don't want Rowan to ever feel like I've replaced her. Two, I don't want the new baby to always be just living in her bigger sister's shadow. Three, I don't want to be that parent that this affects, you know, my new baby's life forever, but I'm scared.
Grief is a very personal thing. People move through it at different paces. I've said it a million times. The depth and breadth and longevity of your grief are not a reflection of how much you cared about the person. That's just not true. What should your goal be? That when you see that picture, it's joy. Now, can you get there this moment? No, you've got healing to do. But that's your goal. I want to get to the point that when I see her, I can celebrate every day of her life instead of grieve the moment of her death. That's got to be your goal, right? And if you don't heal, then you'll play the game with sweaty palms and she will pay the price. Then you become the helicopter mom and you will smother her and she'll say, what's the deal? I want to introduce you guys to Miles Adcox right here. He's the CEO of Onsite. Onsite is a worldwide leader in intensive workshops that deal with people that go through emotional trauma. And I think there may be a time for you guys that you want to call a timeout and go spend some time just for yourselves to kind of hit that reset button and get yourselves focused on the future. So I asked Miles to come here and talk with you guys after the show because I would like to make a gift to y'all of going there and spending some time on just the two of y'all. So, Miles, you'll talk to them after the show, right?
Absolutely. We're here for you 100%.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for being here. I want to thank all of my guests today for sharing their incredible stories with us. A special thanks to Miles and Onsite, and a very special thanks to my good friend Oprah. Remember to make sure and watch Belief. It premieres this Sunday, October 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central on OWN. For more about today's show and information on Cassie and Bryn's charity called Raise for Rowan, go to drphil.com. We're going to have a link right there because we sure support it. Thanks for being here. So long.
All-new Dr. Phill. Their son is 32.
You got in my face screaming and yelling. You were really raging.
Violent.
We walk on eggshells around you because you'll blow up.
And still lives at home.
They think you're a moocher.
I'm not a moocher. If you guys want me out, say so and I'll be out.
You say you're bipolar. Is it so debilitating that you can't clean your room?
I told them I didn't want any of that taken. I didn't want any film of it.
Listen, if you don't want to deal with the truth, then don't be here. Let's do it. Is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Well, you know, Kathy and Gary worked hard their entire lives, all while imagining that by now they would be quietly enjoying their golden years together. But instead, they say their lazy, mooching 32-year-old son, Jeremy, who's never lived away from home and refuses to leave, has ruined any hopes of that. According to Mom Kathy, Jeremy goes days without bathing, rarely leaves the house, spends up to 18 hours a day sleeping in his garbage-strewn room, and says she is the cause of all of his problems and failures. Kathy says Jeremy blames everyone and everything for why he can't get his life together. He's bipolar, he's depressed, his parents made him this way, and wait for it, the universe dealt him a bad hand. Now, they say they want him out of their house for good so they can move on with their lives and stop living in fear. Take a look.
My 32-year-old son, Jeremy, lives at home with his father and I.
I want my son to move out, get a place of his own. He just needs to have a life.
Right.
We can't have a full life because
he's here. To have to support our 32-year-old son, it disgusts me. Jeremy stays in his room 18 to 20 hours a day. His room is a pigsty. He'll take food, a meal in there to eat, and he'll leave the dishes in there for days. Garbage all over the floor. His bed's never made. It's a disaster. Jeremy did drop out of high school. He did not get a high school diploma. We tried to help him get his GED.
he has never really contributed to any of the bills. Even his car will have to give him money for gas. It's really hard to make him do something he really doesn't want to do.
Jeremy blames me for the state of his life right now. Jeremy is extremely aggressive. Anything can set him off. He likes to get right in my face and scream at the top of his lungs, and his face is purple, and he calls me every filthy name in the book. Stupid. He says I don't deserve any respect. He scares me. A couple weeks ago, I said, could you please feed the dogs? He went ballistic. He started screaming and yelling at me as if he has a schedule. He acts like he has this invisible schedule.
Jeremy kind of lays around the house and doesn't really contribute, doesn't do anything. We can kick him out and he comes back.
I am at my wit's end. That's why I'm calling Dr. Phill. He's my last chance. He's my last hope.
Huh. Well, you come to the right place. Jeremy says his parents should be glad he lives at home. Glad. Because, hey, they're getting old. They need somebody around to take care of them.
I can't move out of my parents' home right now because I'm not equipped to take care of myself. I blame my mother for some of the choices she's made that's led my life to where it's at. My life is pretty much a monotony. It's the same thing every day. I don't have any hobbies. There's no typical every day for my life. I tend to want to stay in bed a lot. My parents have probably kicked me out throughout the years, maybe half a dozen times. I lived in my car, I stayed with friends or cousins. My parents do push my buttons. We tend to butt heads a lot. The thing that sets my anger off the most, they say that I never meet them halfway. I don't feel that's true. I feel it's them never meeting me halfway. If it's not exactly the way you guys think, or it's not in tune with exactly how you guys feel or think everything should go, this is what I have to deal with. You guys control everything. Mom needs to stop yelling and getting so angry first. Because if she's angry, if she gets scared when I get...
That's just a reaction to you.
I try to take myself out of the loop as opposed to her. When she gets like that, she seems more combative. She likes to be a little bit more confrontational. She likes to get in everybody's face. While me, I try to stay away. I know that at this age, I should be a little bit more independent, but parents need me around because I've noticed they're getting older. At some point, I'd like to provide and have a family for myself. I haven't really had much of the opportunity to take advantage of things in my life that have come. Everybody's moving by, passing me on. I don't feel it's fair.
Okay, this is interesting. They think you're a moocher, are you?
No, not a moocher. I've never really heard them call me a moocher, per se.
Do you contribute financially?
No, I don't really make enough to contribute almost anything financially, no.
Do you have a job?
Yes, I have a job.
What do you do?
I work distribution, unloading trucks.
40 hours a week, 30 hours a week, 20 hours a week, 10 hours a week?
It's very nominal. Now it could be anywhere from 12 to 16 hours a week, maybe.
So it's a part-time job?
Yeah, right now, yeah.
And you're how old?
32.
32. And you say you're bipolar?
Yes.
Because I went through all your records and I went through everything you all provided. I couldn't find a diagnosis of bipolar.
Well, I was diagnosed manic depressive at one point, so that's always what I was told.
Is it so debilitating that you can't clean your room?
Sometimes, yeah.
That's what I'm asking, like what we're seeing here.
So, yeah. I told them I didn't want any of that taken. I didn't want any film of it. I told them, yes, I was honest, that it was a pigsty and everything.
Listen, I deal with the truth. If you don't want to deal with the truth, then don't be here. Because I'm going to talk to them here in a minute.
Please do.
I'm going to tell them things.
Please do.
I'm going to ask them questions like I'm asking you. But I help people that want to be helped. And if you don't want to be helped, then don't be here.
That's why I'm here.
You're not doing me a favor.
But, for instance, the other morning, I came out and expressed that this was moving a little bit fast for me. It blew up to a whole big thing that it didn't need to be, to where she ended up calling the police out on me.
But why did I call them, though? Because you got in my face screaming and yelling.
Did I get in your
face? You tried to take the phone away from me.
When you wouldn't
let me get on the computer.
Was that exactly how it went down?
That's exactly how.
You're scaring Mom. She called me. I had to come home from work.
You got right nose to nose, and you frightened me because you were really raging.
Do you know why I started doing that?
I realized after I talked to the police officer that you were having a panic attack.
I want to know why.
Well, basically, when I started grabbing the phone, it's because at this time, when I started telling her, because it didn't just come out me going into a rage. When I told her that I wasn't feeling this, it was going way too fast, I'm not liking it, I didn't want to go, she's the one. At that point, I realized she had invested everything into this, so much so that
for
to her,
you.
I understand that. I'm not saying you don't care. I understand that this is for me, but sometimes you need to back off a little bit and see that I need a little, like this.
The time is up, Jeremy. I mean, we can't keep backing up and procrastinating on everything. It's like...
Yeah, well, if I had the drive to go any further, I'd really be there, because I don't want to be in this situation any more than you guys do. I don't feel like there's no drive, okay? There's no reason for me to get up. There's nothing like that. That's one of the reasons why you initially called the show, right?
That is why we're here.
Because we've tried everything we can. We don't know where else to go, what else to do.
And you think I do?
He can help you. We can't.
When this all started transpiring around puberty, you guys always started telling me I was lazy and everything. I'm sorry, I didn't have the answers.
But you're 32 now.
Yeah, I know, but they expect me to already have, like...
Well, no, you're 32 now. That was then. This is now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a quick break. Next, Kathy and Gary say they don't know where they went wrong as parents. Well, maybe their daughter Tiffany has something that she can add to this. There's two sides to every story. It's going to be heard. We'll be right back.
My parents enable my brother. He's 32 years old. He's never left home. My mom cooks the groceries. It's all here for him. If he needs something, you know, toiletries, it's provided here. They kick him out for like a day. I've said, don't let him back. But they do.
And later...
I was prepared for you to come at me like that. And they can laugh all they want.
They're laughing at the ridiculousness of the situation.
They're not sitting here
laughing.
in my chair.
Do you want to go down there?
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phill. She saw where her grandson was living.
Pizza boxes with maggots, bottles with fuzzy mold in the nipples.
So she became guardian.
In 2 years, you haven't been to see your son?
Because I work a lot.
Now they want him back.
You're saying she tricked you out of the baby?
We didn't know that it was permanent custody.
Apparently you did. You told your mother. You guys need to go backstage and get your story straight.
That's Monday.
Jeremy says he's bipolar, depressed, and suffers from a horrific lack of drive for life. His sister Tiffany says he's just using a multitude of excuses as a crutch, and frankly, their parents aren't helping the situation. She says they're as much to blame as he is.
I'm 100% fed up with my brother treating my parents the way he does. I don't want to see this cycle continue. My brother's immature. A typical 32-year-old man is not still living at home with no responsibilities. Jeremy's unmotivated, irresponsible, disrespectful. I would never talk to my parents the way he talks to them. My brother can be a taker, and at times he's lazy. It bothers me that he's living here, and even though he doesn't make a lot in his part-time job, he doesn't contribute anything. A normal day for my brother entails getting up whenever he wants to, staying up as late as he wants, eating when he wants, eating as much as he wants here, not cleaning up after himself, going out on cigarette smoke breaks, and being on the computer. He's here using up the water. He eats them out of house and home. Food's not cheap. My parents enable my brother. He's 32 years old. He's never left home. My mom cooks the groceries. It's all here for him. If he needs something, you know, toiletries, it's provided here. Videos, computer access. I think they need to be stronger and give some tough love. They kick him out for like a day. I've said, don't let him back. But they do.
These times when he blows up or when he's not contributing and paying his share, like, sorry, real life is you might have to be out.
Well, Jeremy's family says he gives them every excuse in the book to explain why he can't get his act together and move out. But are they excuses or are they actually valid reasons? Take a look.
Jeremy lives in the world of excuses. He's got an excuse for everything, and he accepts no responsibility for anything. Everything is somebody else's fault.
My brother is full of excuses. I do believe he has bipolar disorder, but I think he uses it as a crutch and as an excuse to not move forward with his life.
I've got issues that are holding me back. My life is crap, and I think a lot of what it has to be with those choices they made when I was younger.
There's so many excuses, I don't even know if I could count them all. His job was going to offer him a promotion, and he had to take a class for some certification. But he was working at night with his job for the early morning hours. My mom has 2 little dogs, and they bark, so they would keep him up during the night. That caused him to not pass the class, not get the job.
There was about 8 days where I was unable to get any sleep. I did not pass because I had actually overslept that day.
If his car isn't running because he hasn't maintained it, it's the stupid car. I've been letting Jeremy use my car. Jeremy, please don't smoke in my car. Why are there ashes in my car, Jeremy? Well, there must be on my clothes when I get in the car. It'll make your head want to explode. I get exhausted just listening to him.
Well, Tiffany, thank you for joining us. Why do you think your brother's still living at home? No 32-year-old guy wants to live at home with his parents. You don't think he says he doesn't want this.
He says he doesn't.
He doesn't want to live
He says he doesn't, but his actions show differently.
Or lack thereof actions?
Inaction is an action. Mm-hmm. You're doing nothing to move forward. I don't want to see you at home with mom and dad forever. I want them to be able to do what they want and not worry about you. When they moved to this new place, they had to worry about...
No, they didn't have to, and I told them that. I said if need be, I would end up finding my own way.
No.
How? No? How the hell is that no? That is exactly what I told you. I said if that's where you guys want to go to that other spot that I'm not allowed to be at...
You don't have the resources.
It doesn't matter.
You don't have anything.
Well, they worry about that because they love you.
Okay, well, then that's not my fault.
It is because you're not moving forward and you're not giving them peace of mind.
I bought that place outright, so when we're gone, if you're still there...
It's
at least
yours.
you have a place.
And I appreciate that.
I really do.
To live. I think that's very loving of you, and I'm more than appreciative of that, which is why, anytime you guys want anything done over there, I'm willing to help.
You know, your mom told me one time, I think Jeremy's just going to be with us forever.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
And we don't know.
Well, where is this headed? What is the outcome here? Where are we 10 years from now?
We'll not be around 10 years from now.
What?
Might not be around 10 years from now.
Why would you not be around 10 years from now?
Not really wanting to keep going with this whole lifestyle. I don't know what everybody seems here to think that I'm just in it, trying to sit here. If it was apparent with how unhappy I am, like if I really had the means to get myself going, things would have already been going. There's been setbacks. I've tried everything, but I don't want to be in this. I don't want to be in this position. You think I want to be here? I mean, this was the hardest thing for me to come here today.
All of us.
You keep saying how horrible it is to be here. What? Am I like an or something?
No, not that. It's just this.
What's wrong? Why do you
we got like four. Well, this is a little bit embarrassing, you know, putting all this dirty laundry on TV. But I mean,
who do you know? I mean,
I don't know too many people, but either way,
exactly.
this is.
I mean, it's
this
like
is
there's millions of people watching this. You don't know any of them.
There's really no motivation or drive within me. Sometimes I don't want to get out of bed at all. It's very hard to deal with. My parents don't understand, like when I used to be bedridden, they just say, well, why don't you just get your ass up and do something? Well, that's easier said than done, especially when you don't have a motivation for life. You don't really have a want or joy to do anything. It takes everything from you.
My mom says I have a mental disorder.
You guys said she ripped the wings off of a pet bird.
I did not kill my bird. You little witch!
Your children have been removed from the home.
I'm in Hollywood right now, so how can I worry about my children? I've been worried about your children. Why don't you take them then, little witch? Off before I hit you on stage.
They believe a stranger is obsessed with their twin daughters.
She took my photos offline and made up a complete lie of her as their mom. My girls are in picture frames all over her house.
how did hundreds of pictures of their twins get on your Facebook page?
I honestly don't know.
You're a damn liar. You've claimed my girls as your own girls, and it's gonna frickin' stop.
He was a major league pitcher. Now his family says he's a drunk.
You've been self-medicating with alcohol because your dream got ripped from you.
I'm not a drunkard.
This is that bottom of the ninth, man. You got to do this.
Jeremy's anger's getting worse as he gets older. When Jeremy gets angry, he gets in my face. He likes to get really, really close to me because he knows that it intimidates me and frightens me. He blames me. I am a trigger for Jeremy.
His mood swings are a puzzle to us. One day he could be one of these rages. We're no good. We don't know what we're doing. He screams and yells. And then the next day it might be over and he wakes up and, hi, Mom, I love you, Mom. Almost like it didn't happen.
To me, it's like a very bad domestic abuse situation, only it's mother and son. My greatest fear is that I'm getting older and weaker, and Jeremy's young and strong, and I'm afraid he might kill me.
All these things I'm now seeing on the camera, none of you guys have expressed any of this to me openly.
We walk on eggshells around you because you'll blow up, and why I don't confront you is because you live with Mom, and I have to protect them.
Jeremy, you do blow up.
In years past, when I was a younger woman and still working,
we don't, but you blow
and I
up.
used to go at it full tilt. I don't do it anymore because I'm trying to diffuse your rage. Even when I don't give it back to you, you don't diffuse. You just get worse.
It's like you don't have an off
button. And I'm scared of you, Jeremy. I'm older.
And that's what I'm worried about. When you're at home with Mom and they're on, when Dad and I are at work.
And it's always when he's gone.
Yeah.
But you scare her.
If you guys want me out, say so and I'll be out.
No.
That's
We've
all
done that before.
We don't want to throw you out on the street. We want to help you move on with your life.
Funny here.
You don't get that?
No, I do get that.
The good news is, there is good news here. The good news for you is this is not a Jeremy problem. This is a family problem.
Right. That's why we're all here.
And what you are is the squeaky wheel. You also blow up and you yell and scream and scare her. And I know she does the same thing and she argues with you, but you're a 32-year-old man. You don't scream at a woman like that. That's not okay. I don't care whether you live at home or you don't live at home. That's not okay. I don't care. So, and you do that, correct?
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah, that's not all right. You need to stop doing that. I know what's wrong with him. I know how to fix his issue. That's low-hanging fruit. I know how to change this. Seriously, that's a fixable problem. What I don't get is what the hell is wrong with you people? Really? I really don't understand what is wrong with you.
Well, we don't either. That's why we're
You were going to move into a retirement place, and you didn't because you couldn't take him with you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't know what would happen to him.
We didn't want him to be out on the streets with no...
They won't do the tough love. They will not do
no means of support. I knew you were going to say that to us, and I was prepared for you to come at me like that. And they can laugh all they want, but if they were in our situation, I want to see which one of those mothers wouldn't do the same thing. Maybe there's some of you that would do tough love and throw your kids out, but I want to see how... I don't know them.
Talk to me, not them. They don't get a vote.
But they're laughing.
They're laughing at the ridiculousness of the situation.
They're not sitting here
laughing.
In my chair.
Do you want to go down there?
No.
Then talk to me.
I am talking to you.
Y'all talk. We go through tens of thousands of letters. You kick, fight, scratch to get here and then complain about the chair.
No, not at all.
This guy does not want to be in the situation he's in.
He doesn't.
He don't want to be. Do you not think he would like to be making a good income, living in a nice apartment with a good car and a couple of girls on the Of course he would.
He would.
He doesn't want to be living with his mother and dad, for God's sakes. He wants what you want for him. He just doesn't know how to get there. Inertia is a tendency for bodies at rest to remain at rest.
Right.
So he's stuck in this situation. You want out of this, right?
Yeah.
But take a break. Coming up, Kathy says that... Kathy and Gary say Jeremy is the reason they were forced to give up their dream home and move into a mobile home. I say that is bizarre. I don't get that. So what are we going to do? We're going to talk about that when we come back.
When we decided to downsize, we originally were looking for a retirement community 55 plus.
You couldn't bring Jeremy.
Thursday, Nick Gordon returns.
Where you left money in the will by Whitney. Photos surfaced of Chrissy smoking out of a bong and snorting cocaine. Did she have a drug problem?
Yeah, it got really bad.
Were you a bad influence on her? They say you punched her in the face and kicked her to the point she was on the floor screaming, and you dragged her up the stairs by her hair.
And the one question everyone wants answered.
Did you murder Bobby Christina Brown?
That's Thursday.
Our 25th wedding anniversary, we went to Las Vegas. He brought homeless people in. A woman and her kids walking by the house. They slept on my brand new furniture, I found out. Some guy was there. He had a gun in his backpack, and Jeremy was in his room most of the time. So they were roaming around our home. He didn't see anything wrong with that.
Jeremy, let me ask you, and I got the same questions for you. What do you want?
Purpose in a family.
And by purpose, what would that?
Something to give me drive, something to motivate me.
And when we talked to you, you did blame choices your parents made earlier in your life, and really even
up until somewhat recently.
Until recently, on your parents. Do you want my input here?
Sure.
You know, this is the first show in the history of television that's ever been completely devoted to psychological issues and family functioning and all of that. It's the first time anybody's ever done that. And lo and behold, it's a #1 show. Isn't that interesting? So I put this down because I wanted you to see it. Because when you see it, sometimes it has an effect. Like you say, this is your words. These aren't our words. These are your words.
Well, to some extent, yeah. I'm reading them now, and some of them aren't all that accurate. That's just the way they ended up making them concise.
Okay.
No life goals or motivation. And you say a big problem is the bipolar and depression. And that is a factor. I don't disagree with that one. That is a factor, and it needs to be managed. And if that's the case, then we're going to work on that.
Thank you.
Has to live at home because you frankly can't afford to live somewhere else.
Correct.
That's shorthand, but
yeah.
Okay. You stopped counseling for depression because you didn't like the counselor, the last one that you saw.
That might have been a long time ago, the first one we saw, but no, that wasn't the case.
Okay. You stopped prescription meds because they didn't work.
Correct.
Okay. You can't leave the house because you don't have a car. You can't go out job hunting because you don't have good transportation.
No, my car actually runs. The thing is I have problems with the rotors and brakes to where they don't want me driving it because they feel it's unsafe, which is why, in turn, they let me use their car.
You can't drive an unsafe car, Dad.
Why can't I drive it?
Because it's unsafe.
Says you, but I'm the one who drives it. You're the one who says it's unsafe because it makes a little noise. Who doesn't drive a car that makes noise?
You quit jobs because you felt overworked?
No, there was a job in question that they're probably referencing that to where I had worked 13 days. This was a long, long time ago. This was one of the I think the second job I had when I was a busboy. I had worked like 13 straight days or whatever towards the end, and I was pretty much, yeah, I got fed up with them.
Okay, no girlfriend in 10 years because your mom kind of wrapped that one up for you.
That's not the reason why I haven't had it, because she ruined the relationship. I just haven't had a girlfriend in 10 years. That's not because she ruined the last one, though. Okay, can't contribute financially because you work limited hours. Correct.
How about getting a second job?
Well, that's the motivation factor I'm lacking. I haven't really wanted to look. The last time I tried looking for work, it took me quite a few years to find something. In the meantime, I was taking care of my grandmother at that time, which is...
Okay, remember what he just said. Okay? Okay, can't get job making more money because mom's fault he didn't finish school.
Again, that's not really accurate. The reason I had a promotion that was almost set up for me where I was taking classes for a certification, she had just recently lost her job and was depressed at the time. There's a little bit more backstory to it. She wouldn't get up answering the door. There were family members coming by to check on her. They're knocking on the door, loud as can be. You're right in the living room watching TV, but oblivious to the door. The dogs are barking. You're still not getting up, saying anything. I'd have about 10 minutes sitting there listening to this while I'm trying to rest, that I'd finally just get up, you know, a little bit like angry and say, you know what, answer the door. But then at that point, I can't go back to sleep.
What time of day was that?
During middle of the day.
During the day. People come to houses.
Right, but if she's home, don't act surprised. It doesn't matter. She's home. I'm supposed to be trying to sleep.
But I got the backstory now. You said you failed the job placement test because your mom's dog was barking and disturbed your sleep before the test.
Yeah, that's actually what I was referring to.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just that cut and dry. That makes it look like it's just some asinine thing, but that wasn't the case at all.
Oh, my God. Did you just say what I thought you said? Did you just say that?
I did.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phill. She's disgusted with where her grandson was living.
Maggots, bottles with fuzzy mold.
It wasn't that nasty.
Do you think those pictures were staged?
I do. Oh, my God.
That's Monday.
You can't move out because they need you at home.
Well, they kind of do now, here and there. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on the place.
Could you please give him permission to not be responsible for you two?
Yeah, Jeremy, you don't have to be at home.
Okay, I'm not saying I have to be.
I
said I would leave, but you guys do kind of need me there if you want a lot of that repair work done.
I can do that.
No.
Or you can come over and help.
Oh, my God. Did you just say what I thought you said? Did you just mitigate? Well, I said he thinks he needs to be. The reason that he's staying at home is because he thinks you need him to fix things around the house.
No,
and I said, give him permission that he doesn't need to be there. And you said, no, you don't need to be there. Well, you could come over and fix stuff. Holy
Yeah, I'm quite capable of managing the house.
Thank you.
Did you just say that?
I did.
We want him to have a life of his own.
Apparently not.
You see why we need your help, Dr. Phill.
Life is a mess because universe dealt a bad hand, can't control anger because parents won't listen, blows up at mom because she loves sister more than him.
And Jeremy, do you really believe that last one?
That I love
No, but I do feel she's
why
kind
did
of
you say something like that?
She has kind of gotten a little bit more of the opportunity.
No,
and
she
it's hard.
took advantage of the opportunity.
Because she's the
afforded
perfect
her,
child.
and
Yes,
you
we
didn't.
understand
She's not
that.
perfect. None of us are perfect. Somewhere we went wrong, and we don't know where.
We don't know what.
We don't know.
Where.
Somewhere?
We don't know what happened.
We went wrong. We don't know where.
Maybe trying to put me in the same path she went.
To motivate you, to make something
We're
out of
two
yourself?
completely different people.
At what point do you become accountable?
I'm always accountable. I tell them if they want me out, all they got to do is tell me and I will go.
He does say that, but we don't know how he'll support himself.
That's why we're here, because they won't.
No, they have before.
No, and they don't let you stay out.
Well, yeah.
Try living on
We
your
need
own for
your
11
help.
months.
Desperately.
When you don't have the means to?
I made decisions to not get myself
Right.
in that position.
When you're gone, Jeremy, when that happens,
Yes, that's real privilege,
then your
huh?
mom is fretting. Where is he? What's happening?
That's not my concern, then, is it?
No, I'm talking about your mom. That's why, you know, I always give in.
Because I
And tell her
don't eat,
that-
I don't sleep, I'm sick. I make myself sick. I know I'm enabling. I know I'm wrong. I need.
And she can't stand it.
I need your help.
So.
I can't. I know a lot of it is my fault. I understand that. I just don't know what to do. If we make him leave as we have in times past, I can't make it stick because
She's
he's out on
terrified
the
that something's
streets.
gonna
I'm
happen to
terrified
him.
something bad's going to happen to him.
Do you threaten him with that?
No, I don't threaten him with that, but I mean...
Well, you just made a veiled threat a few minutes ago. It's emotional extortion.
Maybe so, but that's really...
manipulative. I mean, you made a veiled threat.
then-
You said, well, I may not even be here.
And you have said that to me numerous times.
That was one of the reasons you really started going on the show, because I do feel that way. I don't have a drive. I don't feel any... I don't know where to go with anything. I don't know how to get my first foot forward. I don't know what to do. I'm at a complete loss.
I'm going to tell these people the truth as I see it. and we'll see who wants to make a change and who doesn't. We'll be right back. If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click Be in the Audience. Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445. Look, Jeremy, your parents are not perfect. But you're not a perfect son.
Far from it.
That has kind of a symmetry to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Listen, Kathy, Gary, I want you to do something for me. Okay. Both of you come with me. Now, you see this? It starts at 0. Mm-hmm. And think about this as your life timeline. God. And I want you to come stand on your age.
Oh, in front of everybody?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Stand on your age.
Okay. You happy now?
Right. I want you to look over your shoulder and see how much is behind you.
Wow.
Quite a bit.
Now look how much is ahead of you.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it'll go past the end of that.
Yeah, hopefully, my ass. This is life expectancy.
I don't like this.
Now, you want to spend this the way you're spending it now?
No.
Not at all.
Think about this. That's it. That's behind you. That's ahead of you. Burn this in your brain. Because you don't want to be down here saying, you know, that day we went on Dr. Phill, he tried to tell us, don't waste this. And we didn't listen.
Okay.
Let me make these wonderful years.
In front of us before.
You've earned them.
That's what I see. That's what I'm worried about.
I know.
So let's make a change.
Okay.
Please.
Let's make a change. Are you willing to work with us on making this change?
Of course. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't.
Because I want to get you the help that you need. I want to get you a life coach.
Oh my.
I want to get you a therapist. I want to get you evaluated biochemically, neurologically, to see exactly where you are. That's our gift to you. Let's find out where we are. I'm going to suggest that we start with you going to a place that I love called Onsite. And it's in Tennessee. And I've talked to Miles Adcox about this. Onsite is a trusted resource for very intense interventions and workshops on getting people really focused on action plans to mobilize their life.
So let's do it.
Fair enough?
I'm all for it.
And it'll be behind them? Okay. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right, a special thanks to Onsite, because I talked to Miles about this. When we come back, why a very successful model and entrepreneur wandered the streets of New York City for 17 hours. Was she really lost, or was there something else going on? We'll hear her story after the break. Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phill community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phill Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. My next guest is a well-known supermodel, celebrity chef, restaurateur, and lifestyle expert. Nothing slipped by her until one day the news came. She was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. With the help of her husband, Dan, she is determined to stay happy. Here's her story.
If you have Alzheimer's, it doesn't just go away.
It's a tough.
You know, it's tough, but it's not the worst thing that can happen.
You expect and always think that the person will operate at their zenith, especially B, who has the abilities to do so many different things over the course of her life.
In the beginning, when it was, starting to happen with me, I didn't get it. I have a true rock. My best friend.
When you think about Alzheimer's, we've got to put a line in the sand and make a difference. I believe in the one rule. If it could help one person, then it's worthwhile.
Well, joining me is B. Smith, her husband Dan, along with my good friend Dr. Frieda Lewis Hall, Chief Medical Officer of Pfizer. So welcome, everyone.
Thank you. This is my new best friend.
Well, let me tell you, she is our best friend as well. We just love it when she is here. So, B, what is the most difficult thing for you in your daily life?
The most difficult in my daily life, I have a tendency of sometimes doing a little too much.
And Sweetie has a problem at times. She, remembering things, which is part of the journey that we're on.
Dr. Frieda, what does it mean when you're diagnosed with Alzheimer's?
Being diagnosed with Alzheimer's means you've been diagnosed with the most common form of dementia that you're likely to experience, as Dan mentioned, memory loss, loss of thinking and language ability, changes in personality and mood, and that is severe enough that it has an impact on your ability to manage your daily tasks. It also means that you've been diagnosed with a disease that is both progressive and irreversible.
Are the things that trigger this?
We really don't understand the cause completely yet. What we do believe is that genetics is at play, and we believe that because we know that people who have parents or siblings with Alzheimer's, they're more likely to get it.
Yeah. Are there other risk factors besides the genetics?
There are two major risk factors. The first is age, and the second is gender. So if you take 85-year-olds, for example, 1 in 3 persons at that age have Alzheimer's.
Oh, really?
And the risk is higher for women. About 2/3 of the people that have Alzheimer's are women.
Is that right?
Yes.
What's been the scariest moment?
Scariest moment for me was a normal bus trip that my wife would take from our home into Manhattan, and she got off the stop before the last stop, before I would meet her, and for 17 hours she walked up and down the streets of Manhattan in 35+ degree weather while it was raining, sleeting, and snowing.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Doctor, what are some of the warning signs?
Memory loss and personality changes, poor judgment, forgetting things, asking the same questions over and over and over again.
Will you see mood changes as well?
Many times you see mood changes and what we call mood lability, feeling happy at one moment and then changing very quickly.
Well, being a caregiver certainly can be tough. So what should people in that role do?
So caregiving is really tough. So the first thing is keep tapping into courage, to faith, to love, to patience. A lot of times caregivers feel that they should do everything and they feel guilty if they don't.
Yes.
They have to take care of themselves. That is so very important. Ask others around them for help. That's critical. And then the third thing, make sure you stay on top of new advances.
Absolutely.
In the disease around new research, new management, new resources. All of those things are important to really stay in pace with. And of course, we say that there's a good start to get that information on gethealthystayhealthy.com. I want to add one other thing because we didn't really talk about this. We have to have people more aware. We have to have people involved in clinical trials. It's really important. I just want to congratulate them for picking that up on top of everything else that they're dealing with.
Dr. Phill, I've learned people need to talk to people, that getting advice or counseling or therapy is not something to shy away from or to be shunned. That's what Alzheimer's is for many people. The only way that we can make this thing go away is by talking about it and not being ashamed of something you have no control over.
Yeah. And B, you're completely comfortable talking about it, right?
I am. I'm not quite sure why, but for
for years, you know, I've done all the things that I'm doing now.
Right.
And I still want to go out and help other people.
Yeah.
And I'm still doing it.
Yeah. Well, you two wrote a book about your true love, family, dedication, and hope. And it's creating awareness of Alzheimer's with the goal to one day beat this deadly disease.
We can, and we will.
And we want everyone in the audience to get a chance to read it for themselves. It's called Before I Forget. And everyone in the audience is going to go home with a copy of Dan's book. So congratulations on that, and thank you for taking the time to do that. And you should be really proud of this book, Bea. I mean, I really hope you are. I really hope you are. I want to thank all of my guests today, especially Dr. Frida Lewis Hall. We'll see you next time. And thanks so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.